You're embarrassing us by acting like you belong at the adults' table. My sister Rachel laughed, gesturing around the engagement party. Just because you helped with some planning doesn't make you important. So I walked out without a word and canceled the $35,000 wedding venue I'd been secretly paying for through my event planning business. Now she's sobbing on my voicemail because her dream wedding is ruined and the courthouse is booked solid, but I'm not picking up. Hey, before we move on to the video, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thanks. I should probably explain how we got here, but honestly, I'm still processing the relief I feel. For the first time in years, my phone isn't constantly buzzing with Rachel's demands, and the silence is incredible. I'm Emma, 32, unmarried by choice, and apparently the family disappointment because I chose building my business over hunting for a husband. I own Cascade Events, a wedding planning company I started 5 years ago after leaving my corporate job. It's small but successful, and I genuinely love helping couples create their perfect day. The irony isn't lost on me. Rachel is 28, golden child, and has been planning her wedding to Tyler since approximately their third date 2 years ago. She's beautiful, charming when she wants to be, and has always been mom and dad's favorite. I accepted that dynamic long ago. What I didn't accept was becoming her unpaid wedding coordinator, bank account, and emotional punching bag. The engagement party was held at our parents' house last Saturday. I'd spent the previous week helping mom with decorations, coordinating catering, and handling logistics because Emma's so good at this stuff. I didn't mind. I love my family, and Rachel seemed genuinely happy with Tyler. But something shifted when I walked into that party. Maybe it was seeing all of Rachel's college friends gushing over her ring, or watching her bask in the attention, but she looked at me like I was staff rather than her sister. When I tried to join their conversation about honeymoon plans, she actually rolled her eyes. "Emma, could you check on the appetizers?" she said, dismissing me with a wave. The adults were talking. I bit my tongue and went to the kitchen, where I found Tyler's mom, Linda, looking uncomfortable. She'd been the only person to thank me for my help that evening, and she noticed Rachel's behavior too. "Your sister seems stressed," Linda said carefully. "Weddings can bring out the worst in people." I appreciated her diplomacy, but we both knew this wasn't stress. This was Rachel showing her true colors now that she had everything she wanted locked down. The ring, the man, the attention, and a sister who'd handle all the messy details. You see, what nobody knew, not even my parents, was that I'd been quietly funding Rachel's dream wedding. When she got engaged, she and Tyler were both entry-level employees with massive student loans. The venue she wanted, Willowbrook Estate, cost $35,000 just for the space rental. They couldn't afford it, and mom and dad had already told them their budget was $5,000 total. Rachel cried for weeks. She showed me Pinterest boards and Instagram photos, talking about how she dreamed of getting married there since college. She'd drive by the estate and take photos of herself in front of the gates. It was honestly heartbreaking to watch. So I did what I always do. I fixed it. I contacted Willowbrook's owner, who happened to be a former client, and worked out a deal. Cascade Events would handle the venue coordination for 3 upcoming weddings in exchange for a significant discount on Rachel's rental. I'd cover the remaining cost personally. All Rachel knew was that they'd worked out a payment plan with the venue. I told myself I was being generous, helping my sister have her dream day. Looking back, I think I was trying to buy her love and respect. Pathetic, right? The engagement party incident was just the beginning. Over the next few months, Rachel's behavior escalated. She'd call me at all hours with demands disguised as requests. Could I contact the florist? Could I handle the cake tasting because she was too busy? Could I pick up her dress alterations? When I suggested she might want to be involved in choosing her own flowers, she snapped, "I thought you were supposed to be good at this stuff. Just pick something pretty." The real wake-up call came 3 weeks ago at our cousin's baby shower. Rachel was holding court, talking about her wedding plans to anyone who'd listen. I was sitting nearby, bouncing the baby, when someone complimented the venue choice. "Oh, we got so lucky," Rachel gushed. "Tyler's family has connections, so we got this amazing deal on the most exclusive estate in the area. It's where all the celebrities get married." I looked up, confused. Tyler's family had nothing to do with the venue booking. Linda caught my eye across the room and looked equally puzzled. "That's not," I started to say, but Rachel cut me off. "Emma, could you get me some punch? I'm parched from all this talking." Again, dismissed like the help. But Linda was watching, and I could see the wheels turning in her head. She knew something wasn't right. After the shower, Linda approached me. Emma, can I ask you something? Tyler mentioned you were handling a lot of the wedding coordination. Are you getting paid for all this work? I laughed it off, but Linda pressed gently. It's just that Rachel made it sound like Tyler's side of the family had some special connection to the venue, but we don't know anyone there. I'm just concerned you're being taken advantage of. That conversation haunted me for days. Linda, who barely knew me, was more concerned about my well-being than my own sister. It forced me to really look at the dynamic I created. I wasn't Rachel's sister anymore. I was her unpaid employee. And worse, she was taking credit for my work. The breaking point came at that engagement party, but not with the adults table comment. That was just the appetizer. The real moment happened later in the evening. I was cleaning up in the kitchen when I heard Rachel talking to her college roommate, Sarah, in the hallway. They didn't know I was there. How did you manage to afford Willowbrook? Sarah asked. Last I heard, you and Tyler were broke. Rachel's response made my blood freeze. Oh, Tyler's family has money. They're covering most of it. And Emma thinks she's helping by doing some coordination work. But honestly, she's more of a hindrance. I have to double-check everything she does because she has no real experience with high-end events. She runs some tiny wedding business that barely makes money. Sarah laughed. Classic Emma, trying to make herself important, right? She acts like she's some expert, but this is my wedding. I know what I want. I'm just letting her help because Mom asked me to include her. You know how sad her life is, 32, single, desperately trying to live vicariously through other people's happiness. They walked away, still laughing, and I stood there holding a stack of dirty plates, feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. Everything clicked into place. The venue booking that she'd attributed to Tyler's family. The way she dismissed my suggestions while implementing them later as her own ideas. The constant request for help coupled with criticism of my work. She wasn't just using me, she was actively undermining me while taking credit for everything I'd provided. I finished cleaning up in a daze. When Mom asked if I was okay, I said I was tired and needed to leave. Rachel didn't even say goodbye. She was too busy showing off her ring to some neighbors who'd stopped by. I drove home and sat in my car for 20 minutes, just thinking. Linda's words kept echoing. Are you being taken advantage of? The answer was so obvious it hurt. That night, I pulled out all the contracts and receipts related to Rachel's wedding. The venue rental agreement was in my business name. The deposit had come from my personal account. The ongoing payment plan was set up through my company's credit card. Legally, I was the client, not Rachel. The venue didn't even have Tyler's contact information. I also realized something else. In my hurt and anger over the years, I'd never told anyone about my financial contributions to the family. Not just Rachel's wedding, but Dad's car repair last year, Mom's dental work, my brother's security deposit for his apartment. I'd helped everyone quietly, never asking for recognition, and somehow that made it easy for them to forget my contributions existed. Monday morning, I called Willowbrook Estate and spoke with Margaret, the events coordinator I'd been working with for months. Hi Margaret, it's Emma from Cascade Events. I need to discuss the Henderson wedding booking. Of course. How can I help? I need to cancel the reservation. There was a pause. Cancel? The wedding is in 6 weeks, Emma. We've already begun setup planning. I understand, and I apologize for the short notice. What are the cancellation fees? Margaret was professional but clearly surprised. Well, you'd forfeit the deposits, of course, and there's a cancellation fee of, let me check, $3,000. But Emma, this seems sudden. Is everything all right? Everything's fine. I just won't be needing the venue anymore. Will the couple be rebooking elsewhere? I want to make sure we handle this properly. And here's where I felt a moment of doubt. Rachel would be devastated. The wedding was 6 weeks away. But then I remembered her voice in the hallway. She acts like she's some expert, but this is my wedding. No, I told Margaret. They won't be rebooking. Please process the cancellation and send me the final invoice. After I hung up, I sat in my office staring at my phone. Part of me wanted to call Rachel immediately and explain what I'd done, give her a chance to apologize, maybe work something out. But the bigger part of me knew that wasn't going to happen. Rachel didn't see me as someone deserving of respect or honesty. She saw me as a resource to be managed. I turned off my phone and focused on work for the rest of the week. The call started Friday evening. First Mom, panicked and confused. Then Dad. Then Tyler, who was genuinely bewildered because he'd never understood how they'd gotten the venue in the first place. Finally, Rachel herself, cycling through anger, tears, and manipulation. I didn't answer any of them. The voicemails were fascinating to listen to, though. Mom's first message was confusion. Emma, honey, Rachel says there's some problem with the wedding venue. Can you call me back? By her third message, the tone had shifted. Emma, this is serious. Rachel is hysterical and we don't understand what happened. You need to call us back right now. Dad's messages were more direct. Emma, I don't know what's going on between you and your sister, but you need to fix this. She's your family. Tyler's were the most honest. Emma, I'm really confused about what's happening. Rachel says you canceled the venue, but I thought her family was paying for it. Can you call me back so we can figure this out? But Rachel's messages were the real masterpiece. The first was pure rage. What the hell is wrong with you? How could you do this to me? Call me back right now. The second was manipulation. Emma, I know you're hurt about something, but this is my wedding. Whatever I did, we can work it out. Please don't ruin the most important day of my life. The third was bargaining. Look, if this is about money, we can figure out a payment plan. Tyler's parents said they might be able to help. Just please call the venue and fix this. The fourth was the truth. Emma, Mom told me I have to apologize for whatever I said at the engagement party. I'm sorry, okay? I was drunk and stressed. Please don't let this ruin my wedding over some stupid comment. Even her apology wasn't really an apology. She was sorry I was upset, not sorry for what she'd done. And she'd reduced weeks of dismissive behavior to some stupid comment. The final message, left Sunday night, was pure desperation. Emma, I called Willowbrook and they said you're the actual client. I don't understand what's happening. The courthouse is booked for months. Please call me back. I'm begging you. That's when it hit her. I wasn't just some family member causing drama. I was the person who'd made her dream wedding possible, and she'd never even known it. Monday morning, I got a knock on my office door. It was Linda, Tyler's mom. Emma, I hope you don't mind me stopping by. Tyler got your business address from your mom. Can we talk? I invited her in, curious about what she'd say. Linda sat down and looked at me with the kind of direct honesty I'd been craving from my own family. Tyler is confused and hurt, and Rachel is. Well, she's not handling this well. But before I say anything else, I need to know the truth. Were you paying for their wedding venue? I nodded. All of it. The venue rental? Yes. $35,000. Linda closed her eyes. And Rachel told everyone it was us. Tyler's been feeling guilty for weeks that his family couldn't contribute more to the wedding costs. She's been taking credit for a lot of things, I said quietly. Linda was quiet for a long moment. Emma, I heard what she said about you at the engagement party. The adults table comment was bad enough, but I also heard her talking to her friend later. About your business, your life, how she was letting you help. I felt a spark of validation. Someone had witnessed it. Someone understood. What she said was cruel and unfair, Linda continued. You've been incredibly generous, and she's been. Ungrateful doesn't even cover it. But Emma, the wedding is in 5 weeks. Tyler is devastated. Is there any way to work this out? I appreciated Linda's honesty, but I'd already made my decision. Linda, I've been paying for, planning, and coordinating this wedding for months while Rachel told people I was barely capable of handling the work. She's taking credit for my contributions while mocking my life choices. I can't continue to support someone who has so little respect for me. Linda sighed. I understand. I really do. But Tyler didn't know any of this. He's innocent in whatever's been happening between you and Rachel. I know he is, I said. And I'm sorry he's caught in the middle. But this isn't about punishing Tyler. It's about me refusing to be taken advantage of anymore. Linda nodded slowly. I can't say I blame you. What Rachel did was wrong. But she's panicking now, and I think she genuinely doesn't understand how badly she's treated you. That's the problem, I said. She doesn't understand because she's never had to. Everyone in our family just accepts that Rachel gets what she wants, and the rest of us make it happen. I'm done being part of that system. Linda left with a promise to talk to Tyler about what had really been happening. I respected her for coming to me directly instead of joining the family pressure campaign. The pressure campaign, meanwhile, was intensifying. Mom had enlisted my aunt to call. Dad had gotten my brother involved. Rachel was posting cryptic messages on social media about family betrayal and people who abandon you when you need them most. But the most revealing moment came when Tyler called me directly, not leaving a voicemail, but reaching me at work. Emma, please don't hang up, he said. I just need to understand what happened. What did Rachel tell you? She said you got upset about something at the engagement party and canceled the venue to hurt her. But my mom said there's more to it than that. Were you really paying for Willowbrook? I explained the whole situation. The original financial problem, my arrangement with the venue, the months of coordination work, and finally, what I'd overheard at the engagement party. Tyler was quiet for a long time. I had no idea, he finally said, about any of it. Rachel told me her family was handling the venue costs, and your parents said they couldn't afford it. I've been feeling awful that my family couldn't contribute more. It's not your fault, Tyler. But Emma, what am I supposed to do now? We sent invitations. People have booked flights. Rachel's dress is being altered to fit the venue's requirements. I felt a pang of sympathy for him, but I held firm. I'm sorry this is affecting you, Tyler. I really am. But I can't continue to fund a wedding for someone who has no respect for me. What if Rachel apologizes? Really apologizes? Tyler, she had months to show appreciation or respect. She chose not to. I don't think a forced apology now changes anything. He was quiet again. I love her, Emma. But what she did to you? I'm starting to see sides of her I don't like. That conversation gave me hope that Tyler would be okay, whatever happened with the wedding. The climax came Tuesday evening. Rachel showed up at my apartment. She looked terrible. Puffy eyes, rumpled clothes, the kind of devastation that comes from realizing your actions have consequences. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Emma, please. Can we talk? I let her in, mostly because I was curious what she'd say when she couldn't hang up or storm off. I messed up, she started. I know I did. I was stressed, and I took it out on you. And I'm sorry. What specifically are you sorry for, Rachel? She looked confused by the question. For being mean at the engagement party? For not appreciating your help? What about taking credit for my work? What about telling people Tyler's family paid for the venue? What about mocking my business and my life to your friends? Her face went pale. You heard that. I heard all of it. Rachel sat down heavily on my couch. Emma, I was trying to look good in front of Sarah. You know how she is, always competing. I didn't mean it. Which part didn't you mean? The part where you said I have no real experience? Or the part where you called my life sad? She started crying. I don't know. I was drunk and stupid and I just wanted to seem like I had everything together. I didn't think you'd hear it. So you meant it. You just didn't think you'd get caught. No. I mean, Emma, you know I don't really think those things about you. But that was the problem. I wasn't sure I did know that. Her behavior over the past month suggested she really did see me as incompetent and pathetic. Rachel, you've been treating me like hired help for months. Taking credit for my work, dismissing my contributions, making me feel like an obligation rather than your sister. And when someone asks how you afforded your dream venue, you lie rather than acknowledge that I made it possible. I'll tell everyone the truth, she said quickly. I'll post about it on social media. I'll make sure everyone knows how much you've helped. I don't want social media credit, Rachel. I wanted basic respect from my sister. She was quiet for a moment. What do you want me to do? I can't undo what I said. I want you to have your wedding somewhere you can actually afford, with vendors you can actually pay, and coordination you can actually handle. I want you to take responsibility for your own life. But Emma, the wedding is in 4 weeks. The courthouse is booked. All our vendors are expecting Willowbrook. We'll have to cancel everything, or you'll have to figure out alternatives. Like adults do. Rachel's tears turned to anger. So you're just going to ruin my wedding? Over some stupid comments? And there it was again. Some stupid comments. She still didn't understand what she'd done wrong. I'm not ruining your wedding, Rachel. I'm just not paying for it anymore. But you already committed. You can't just back out. I committed to helping my sister plan her dream wedding. But my sister called me incompetent and pathetic behind my back. So I guess I'm not qualified for the job. Rachel left that night more angry than apologetic. She spent the next few days trying to rally family support, painting me as vindictive and cruel. But something interesting happened. Linda had apparently talked to Tyler, and Tyler had talked to other people, and the real story was getting out. My brother called me Thursday night. Emma, I had no idea you were paying for Rachel's venue. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because I was trying to help, not show off. But now Rachel's saying you're destroying her wedding over a petty fight. What do you think, Mark? Does that sound like something I'd do? He was quiet. No, it doesn't. But Emma, what's she supposed to do now? The same thing she would have done if I'd never gotten involved. Figure it out. By Friday, the family dynamics had shifted. Mom called with a different tone. Emma, Tyler's mother, explained what really happened. I had no idea you were paying for the venue. I didn't want to make a big deal about it. But honey, that's a huge amount of money. And Rachel, she really said those things about you? I confirmed the story, and Mom was quiet for a long time. I'm disappointed in her, Mom finally said. And I'm sorry we didn't realize what was happening. You've always been so independent, so capable of handling things. I think we forgot you needed support too. That conversation meant more to me than any apology from Rachel could have. The final chapter came the following Tuesday. Rachel and Tyler found a small restaurant with an available date. They had to cut their guest list in half and change all their vendors, but they were moving forward with a wedding they could actually afford. Rachel sent me one final text. I hope you're happy. My wedding is ruined and it's all your fault. I didn't respond. But Tyler sent me a different message. Thank you for everything you tried to do for us. I'm sorry it turned out this way. Rachel is learning some hard lessons about how she treats people. I hope we can stay in touch. That message gave me hope for his future, whether or not it included Rachel. The wedding happened last weekend. I wasn't invited, which was fine with me. I spent Saturday afternoon hiking and had dinner with Linda, who had reached out to maintain our friendship independent of the family drama. How did it go? I asked her. It was small, intimate, actually quite lovely once you got past the tension. But Emma, Tyler asked me to tell you something. I waited. He said to thank you. Not for the venue, but for showing him who Rachel really is before they got married. He said they're going to counseling. I felt a complex mix of emotions. I hadn't intended to save Tyler from anything, but maybe I had. The aftermath has been interesting. My parents have been more attentive, more appreciative of things I do for the family. My brother has started paying me back for the security deposit loan I'd written off months ago. The family dynamic is different now, less taking me for granted, more acknowledging my contributions. Rachel and I haven't spoken since her final text. I'm not sure we will anytime soon. Part of me misses my sister, but I don't miss being treated like a convenience rather than a person. My business is thriving. Ironically, the story of Rachel's wedding cancellation has spread through local wedding circles, and I've gotten several new clients who specifically want someone who won't enable bridezilla behavior. Linda has referred 3 of her friends to me. I've also started dating someone I met through work, a photographer who appreciates my professionalism and treats me like an equal partner. It's refreshing to be with someone who sees my value instead of taking it for granted. Looking back, I don't regret canceling the venue. I regret that it took me so long to recognize how badly I was being treated. I regret that Rachel apparently learned nothing from the experience. But I don't regret refusing to continue funding my own disrespect. My phone doesn't buzz constantly with demands anymore. My weekends are my own. My bank account is healthier because I'm not constantly covering other people's expenses. Most importantly, I sleep through the night now. No anxiety about managing someone else's crisis, no resentment about being taken for granted. No wondering if my family actually loves me or just loves what I can do for them. Rachel got married, just not the way she'd planned. Tyler got a wake-up call about the woman he was marrying. My parents got a reality check about family dynamics. And I got my self-respect back. I don't know if refusing to pay for Rachel's dream wedding was right or wrong, but for the first time in years, I'm living my life for me instead of managing everyone else's expectations. That feels like the right choice. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.